Ministry, Dr. Sir Bob Manuel Odogu, designer Buckley Ogidi. Keep listening to Street Report with Martin on Ebon Ade 103.5 FM Ogidi.
Yes, if the truth is told about a situation, we'll fix it, and it's time to change in our society. It's time for us to play the role of ombudsmanship. It's time for us to bring both the people and the government to the same table, and begin to sort the challenges that we confront as a people, as a society. Before now, Anambra State is a state controlled more by people you will refer to as Aburos, and this is coming to light now. We'll have to talk about it. Good evening and welcome to the awesome, wonderful, spirit and knowledge filled edition of Street Report on Ebonade 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifeanyi Ekezie, as I number the first, the one that I call Metal. Yes, before the Governor Soludo administration came into office, the practice of generating revenue, most especially when it comes to road taxation, is basically a situation whereby individuals or people you could describe as aburos, will go and pay for the road taxation as a franchise, and will now go and generate the money as much as they want. So this brought about the issue of inflation on transportation and a lot of other things that they brought about in our society. But this is not only done by individuals, it's also done by communities, because we also have, reports here that will illustrate how, like, a community in Mpo and Umoja and the rest of them would always come around to do something like that for the sake of development as well, Now, during the feud between the former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chris Ngige, and his, benefactor, or we would say godfather then, Chris Uba, it was said that the governor was not in charge of some revenue collection in the state. We also saw that in the Mbanuju's administration, some individuals were more powerful than the governor himself. So when Governor Chukwuma Soludo said that the government is only in control of 2% of the resources of Anambra State, some of us who have been here for a long time understand what he means, because we know exactly how it goes in our society, We are going to dissect this issue today, look into it. We have issues of where people might just say, somebody might just come up and say that he will go to his community and, develop a park. And before you know it, that park is owned by the person. The person is collecting revenues that the government does not know anything about. We'll venture into this issue today. So this and more will be the cause of our conversation on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebonade 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Ifeanyi Ekezie, as I number the one, the McCall Metal. Stick around with this one and I'll be right back. Let's. Too hard to cry. Oh, no. There is no secret, my God don't know, and there is no problem
that he can solve. No. Oh, even when you're going through your darkest hour, Jah will always work things out. Yes, I'm sure. Beyond the shadows of your doubt, when events surround you, undermining the things you do, still you got to be true while your goals you pursue. With faith as small as the mustard seed, by God I'm sure you will succeed. Oh, 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 you will achieve. God will work things out. Beyond the shadows of your doubt, there is no secret that I don't know. There is no problems that he can solve. Even when you're going through your darkest hour, Jah will always work things out. Yes, it's you. He will always work things out. Yes, I'm sure. Beyond the shadow of your doubt. Needs of frustration, problems and confusion. In your life, just be strong, cause there's a solution. Even when you're going through your darkest hour, Jah will always work things out. Yes, I'm sure. He will always work things out. Yeah. Beyond the shadow of your doubt. Oh, work it out. Jah will, Jah will work it out. Jah will work it out. I know He will, I will. Yes, He'll always find a way. While there is a life, there's a hope. Yes, come on now. Even when you're feeling down and lonely, Jah will always see you through. Oh, yeah. Jah will always work things out. Yes, I'm sure. Beyond the shadow of your doubt.
Yes, lots of people, wonder why state government will always look at the center, will always look at federal government, will always, look for help towards like seek for help when it comes to, funds and all of that. And a lot of people will continue asking the question like, why won't the state government generate enough to develop the state? You are welcome back to Street Report on Ebon the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifan Shuku Ekezi as Anambra the first, the one that I call Metal. So we live in a place, our society, our environment here is a place where a lot of things goes into, governance. A lot of things contribute to governance. That we have the role the government must play, and there is also the role the people must play on a very good day. And then we get to, sit back and continue to blame, the government each time. Something Bishop Cooker will call, like scapegoating. Always scapegoating a particular, like trying to find who to blame about issues and all of that without paying close attention to what is on ground. Now a lot is presenting itself when it comes to revenue generation in the state. Now when it comes to the case of Anambra State, there are lots of things people do. There are lots of things people engage in, that you might be thinking that, okay, the government is the one doing this, but at the end of the day, you see that the money is not getting anywhere close to the government. It's just individual, just like you and I, just out there trying to, generate money from what the government is supposed to be generating money from, and then makes the public wealth now their own private business. It happens, and over time, since the Soludo administration came to board, when it comes to road taxation, he has sanitized the road. A lot of people are testifying to that. But there is more to this, and we will talk about it on this particular edition of Street Report on Hebonade 103.5 FM. In order to illustrate better, I will also bring about this report this evening that will tell you how it used to be when it comes to road taxation. This will show you how some people get involved in, trying to generate these, funds. Some people might just illegally, they don't have anything from the government, they'll just start something and begin to do it. And before you know it, it is recognized that so and so persons are the ones collecting so and so levies. Take a listen to this report and I'll be right back.
Most bus drivers and tricycle operators in Anambra State are complaining bitterly about the amount of illegal tickets that is on the road. Here is some of them complaining about their challenges. Individuals who create some of these illegal tickets narrate how they create them and why. However, there is confusion amongst the populace about which is the real ticket that one should take. The reason why the public face inflation in transportation fares without fuel hike is not far-fetched. From
So there you have it. This is, prove that, you know, some individuals might just come out and begin to, you know, and begin to generate this fund or begin to seek for fund from the public without even authorization from the government. It happens. And I also have this report also that will illustrate further for you to understand. These happenings are not, they didn't happen now, you know, because the Soludo administration is now stepping into all of these, you know, gaps now. But take a listen to this report and I'll be right back.
The sufferings of travelers at new parks, Mpo Park to Ekempo axis continues to appear as a hard nut to crack. Passengers along this axis are complaining about how hard it is to access buses in some areas, and the activities that brings increment of bus fare is like arresting drivers who pick passengers in some of these areas. Meanwhile, the chairman of Ekempo, who is the shuttle bus operator, Mr. Sunday Chupueto, enumerates the areas Mpo Park authorities and other communities have instructed them not to pick passengers.
First of all, I did pick a man in our former Hill Junction. I did pick like you pick from till you get pick like Ekempo, you get pick like Crown Hospital, you get pick like Baka Cement, you get pick like BD. From there go. But after from this down here, junction, back, you will not pick where you are going. But in another chiazo, in another you can pick anywhere you like. You can pick anywhere and drop anywhere you like. But if you are going, you cannot pick anywhere. You remember the hour, then the Binaco Park and then park. So now for not for 1 hour. Then we join the Kivan and Keke. Whoever can even park and be able to find a join the park. So you cannot pick them. You found whatever was their own bus stop. Now you must pick with the passenger and go away just right. And about the pick here, if I want to give you like 10,000 naira. So that's why I had about begging you. I load you ever, I load you go. We even the passenger drop go along the road. We can load you and drop along the road, not no protect. If you pick, we have problems.
Efforts to reach the authorities of Mpo Park was not successful. However, the secretary of Ekempo Umoji shuttle bus operator, Mr. Innocent Edoshie, explained the sufferings of drivers and passengers.
From park, we look Elando. In the park, in Ayama, in 10,000. Then, I know Gapa, you look at the Ekempo. Ndị Ekempo and I gonna put hand up on matching ground. Who cannot have men in other places? Matching ground no good. Mbamuna hani uko consider if men and matching ground them. Someone obudo fellow like on it a bag and no ya walk more than ika po obudo for matching ground. Then all go even else who are your name and I need or for to bunyan. Pana the stop again no umoji this time around. Pana ni pana for matching ground. Then new moji another thing platform na lose bus stop to bus stop. When you pick somebody from bus stop, they will like you put a mother na bus stop moji. Care for 20 naira each person. And if I'm an anti-mother passengers in the think not you see about where do moji na gala jono na transportation na no na California. Mana do moji na do moji na the bus stop. Etili never na for nkwo. Etile never na po Ochepo. Etile never na po Abiju. So ihe a bụ na anyị na-aya ndị ego anyị na-akwụ na tiketi. Anaghị ego anyị na-akwụ na ndị obodo. Ibe ndị obodo na-akwụ ọmụ. In the name of ka ha wee nweta ego n'obodo na-aga n'iru. Uchi anyị na-alaikịrọ. Ihe a bụ mmegbu. Anyị na-eti mkpọ na-apịa anyị arụ. Ị ga-ebute mmadụ ịnọ from Umoji to New Park. They would like to collect 20 naira, 18 naira each passenger. So now, ndị kwa form gụmụ ihe a, form one na Stella Francis. Even mmadụ isi Umoji na-abịa, even mmadụ na Stella Francis, they will disturb you. Sị na ị ga-akwụ ụgwọ, na ị ga-akwụ ụgwọ. Ihe a bụ challenges, ihe a bụ ife na-apịa anyị arụ.
He also made an appeal to the government of Anambra State regarding this situation.
there you have it. Another evidence of the fact that some like communities could get involved in these things that we're talking about, like in generating illegal tickets and all of that. So a lot to talk about. And when we are talking about it, the governor of Anambra State is also looking into this issue now, and he says that government controls only 2% of Anambra resources. Soludo. So the remaining is now in the hands of people, in the hands of the public at the end of the day. So when we ask questions about okay, how can the state government generate enough to develop the state rather than just keep looking towards the center, the federal government to enable them at the end of the day. You are listening to Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM, and I remain Martin Ifeanyi Ikeze. Let's take a look at what the governor of Anambra State is saying when it comes to government controls only 2% of Anambra resources. Soludo. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has said that fixing the state required the people and communities in consonance with the government. He revealed that 98% of the state resources are in private hands, while the government controls only 2%. Soludo spoke during the official commissioning of a 500-meter road built in Umweri, Anambra East local government area. The road, constructed by Chief Josephat Onwalo, is another testament to the efficacy of a private-public partnership in driving community development. The governor praised the Chief Onwalo's initiative, declaring him a champion worthy of celebration. He emphasized that community-driven approach is crucial for Anambra's progress, stating, fixing the state requires the people and communities in consonance with the government. Acknowledging limitations of state resources, Soludo regretted that even the entire 2024 budget will not be enough to fix all the roads within a single local government. 98% of the state's resources are in private hands, while the government controls only 2%, he noted. The governor described the PPCP as a major key to unlocking Anambra's development potential, urging all well-meaning citizens to join the initiative by contributing their resources and expertise towards building a better future for the state. He expressed optimism that the coming year will witness changing of gears and predicted that 2024 will be a productive year for the state to make unprecedented progress. So we know about that of the road, taxation, the way it happens from time to time, but others, because this is not the only sector where the government is supposed to be generating money now, and the governor is trying to say that 2%, that the government controls only 2%, of the resources of Anambra State. What happened to the rest? Now, I was, looking into the theory of the fact that, what we saw in Mbadnuju's administration, the fact that, even his godfather then was also more powerful than he was. And at the time, what we saw also in the administration of Chris Ngige is the fact that, also heard then that some, revenues, the government was not in control of it. Some of the revenues are like maybe in Opiweka and all of that, the government was not in control of it. So there are people who also, are holding on to these things, and the government can't, get it from them. How come it is happening like this? We will need to look into it. What is your take on this? So even as all this government came and at the end of the day, you could also look into the government of people back then. He's considered like Mbaka once referred to him as a stingy person. and end of the day. But there could also be possibility that maybe some of these things lingered in his own administration as well, because back we know that Aboro people were always, they will go and buy these tickets or buy, the road taxation as a franchise and then come out to do what they do, to generate more at the end of the day. So in such manner, some communities were also in control of, these things. Like now, I just gave you a report that also talked about the Kempo axis, and some of these things still lingers as we talk right now. What must the government do to, gain control of the rest of the percentage? Like all the resources of Anambra State is supposed to be in control of the government is supposed to be in control of it. The resources of Anambra State. What is the government supposed to do? We as a people, we need to talk about it today. Just not as those individuals are holding on to these things and enriching themselves with all of these resources. We as Anambra people also, the government owe us, a responsibility, and it's through all of these that they will generate enough to, to keep to the responsibilities they have as a government. So ihe anyị na-etinye ọnụ ya today wee bụrụ ihe gbasara ihe the governor of Anambra State na-ekwu o wee na-akọwa na Anambra State government ji only 2% of the resources Anambra State nwere. Kedu ebe ihe niile adịzi, and kedu ka e ga-esi wee bido dozibe ya bụ situation ka Anambra State government dey in control of the resources ihe niile a na-egenerate in Anambra State otu o si dey on a very good day. You are supposed to be part of this conversation. Mona again on Anambra, and or we'll go beyond. But whatever it is, we are also supposed to learn from this, because only one thing I ain't now they could all the time. Like I they check it about the state governments, the reason why they can't generate enough, and this is one of them. So how do we solve this issue? The numbers you call and then you become part of the conversation remains 070 34 45 93 34 or 07045 592210. Hello? 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 Okay, call back please. 07034 4593 34 or 07045 592210. Yes, let's hear from you right about now. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, my brother. Kekime. Afa gị na-ebisa akpa ya, please. Afa gị kwanụ? Amechi, biko. Gaba n'iru ka ị nwee ikwu n'ihe anyị na-ekwu maka ya na mgbede a. Okay. Ka ebe nke ị na-ekwu exactly kịta, ka ebe ị na-atụ aka wee na-ekwu kịta. Okay. Of ife fa na-eme. Ị bụ driver ka keke n'anya? Kedu your... Okay. So ị na-agba axis a? Okay. So I ghọtara na ha ekwe ka mmadụ drop na ogologo a at the time, or even mmadụ drop kwalisep na na-anakosi ego ndị na-aga n'ogologo a. Okay. So ka ihe gọọmenti ga-emekwa ka gọọmenti not dị in control of the resources of Anambra State, and at the end of the day ka gọọmenti ga-esi wee dozi ife niile ka ị expect ka gọọmenti Okay. Bandalo. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, my brother. Dalo. Yes. And at the time, I beyond just the road taxation, in as much as I the road taxation, mana community they say contribute. I am the governor of Anambra State about communities and the government being in consonance and at the end of the day. So every government in naga this way, community naga a different way. Kedo kai we actualize the development on a very good day. So what is your take on all of this? The numbers once again 07034459334 or 07045592210. Yes, Lotte Ihai Neuku Makia Webolo, the fact that the Anambra State Governor Neukuna, Anambra State government, the only in control of 2% of the resources of Anambra State. Yes, I seen obodo adịrọ mma bụ ulu ndị nze yọtago enwelu ndị nze dị na-adị in charge like na-eme na ihe niile a na-eme in the first place and we have come to address it or ndị nze a kwesịrị ịdị in charge or the government kwesịrị ịdị in charge of our resources at the end of the day. A society whereby anybody could move, just pull anywhere, individual. Those people on those things, government can in the first place. You have to go, one of the fact that modern wake up legitimize on where Potana on a very good day or the proper, Yes, kind of Gapaniru, all those places ever ana megiden the mado, ever ana a disturb on the modern episode can a disturb in the first place. Yes, the governor of Anambra State work will go so hard. You make sure they work for Aburu Nozo. But yet I can complaints about some other places. If the reason the governor now just the government now control 2% of resources. The this program is to solve that critical issue. At the time, and we have the floor now. Let's take it and begin to dissect it. Some drivers now complain about communities gets involved. Generate this fund. Those things in the first place. Again, to of some of the reports I will tell you now, a phone a particular driver no need describe now saying any park or not running park or again I of man government amalomakia. You have to go the driver knew who herself now park or body na if you are not pulling also. Again, my lord, of man government amalomakia park. The numbers once again remain 07034459334 or 07045592210. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, my brother. Welcome. After gonna be sat why you were Gabazeniru. Okay, Gabaniru.
Actually, government in control of only
2%. Yeah.
Sometimes we have never arrived where we're supposed to arrive.
Okay.
During the time of election, somebody came that now he doesn't have anything to run election, or they're already for election. They will go and borrow money, sponsor, so your sponsor paper. Those people that sponsor, give me the hand. What is their work? What is their job? And the election, only election after you won the election, each is a priority. So the only thing is that if they are telling us that they are not in control of all that,
okay.
Before you accept any gift from somebody, it's supposed to eat you a on a road when there's such a gift. You know what? From Nabufa, they go to Jamaica in the election. All these people, these powerful men, which government didn't really buy a move. What if the government didn't move? Because they are government on their own.
Mana Emma, Otu Aketa, the governor of Anambra State, Boni Zaina no Neoku Otua. Or no go slogan and now actually deviate from Otundo's Suez, so Yabifa. Or Jaya in his own way, Yotago mayor, like maybe arrested the situation for him to be talking about it in the first place.
One thing with Anambra State is that Anambra were two powerful men more than any state in this country.
Okay.
Yes. When we're a private individual, so the powerful more than even government. How you in Anambra State? Which if governor go too far, they are going to get up against him. So that is why they see all those things. They look over those things around their government. If you want to speak, I'm going to some of the governors to Choroka have fight or something. Maro to have to end the Anambra State. So the only thing is that so here but let us count vote to happen. And then what they jack happen. For result. Forget about behavior because when they are higher to the top, we are election. What is their work? Can you run them? Can you have all of us? It's impossible. It's not possible. So, if I were to that is the thing. Government of any state of natural in you see from all this out, his sponsors out during the election. That is the cause of the problem.
Okay.
And they had a 40. If you don't use out, you cannot win any this thing.
Election.
So that is correct.
Okay.
The right thing. And what the right this thing. Before that, only have a year back. I pay no traffic. Now, if any the next is obviously or why for those things where I can create here normal level ground or normal anything to try a minute and a minute and a minute. What to get about Zikland about ever. If I are calling him a motor, the casino is your office or it's in our home. So in our one of the Anambra State government is to be those boys there. In our one night go down and not ever. I put in a head bridge, you pay that something thousand naira. I have paid it.
On what kind of vehicle can I wear? Wow. Wow.
They just every year wave change or your way coming back and saying that place that was over. And then you take a buy one place. Stretch out your life, detail your tire, through your battery. You want to go? You measure off, they can kill you there. Do anything like right there. Or twist around the government. Are you telling me? And if I'm not going to say if you like corn or car, that's not how ever. You know what I mean? So people and they Anambra State Anambra State can say no, ever about war. If you want to know about that, I say just in 1 hour across all that. If I go na fear.
Nsogbu ka anyị chịkọta ya ka anyị wee nabata ndị ọzọ mana anyị enwelele a solution to this. Nsogbu thank you so much my brother. Dalo. Yes, anyị enwelele solution to this. Otu isi wee kwukwu ya yọkwa mana enwekwa ike enwekwa other perspective to this. Yọtaga enwekwa ike nwe other ways and we ike isi wee approach this thing at the end of the day. The numbers once again remains 07034 459334 or 07045 592210. Hello. Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Martin.
Yeah, welcome, my brother. How you doing this evening?
Yeah, fine. I had a discussion.
Okay.
I'm Pastor Uche.
Okay, where are you calling us from, Pastor Uche?
I'm calling from Govt.
Okay, please go on, sir.
Yes. What you are doing is a good point, but most of the time, the government cannot take any advice because our words cannot make any change. We are just talking it for nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
So what will be the advice, the contribution I will give concerning this issue? Government knows all these things.
Okay.
But confronting the situation may cost them their job or their government or make the government ungovernable.
Now,
so that is why most of them.
Now that the governor of Anambra State is talking about it and he's seeking for contribution or help from Anambra people, so what is he supposed to do now that he's even talking about it in the first place?
Now the government is talking it. He did not elaborate the areas.
Yes, where, yes, okay.
He did elaborate.
Okay.
But because if we should elaborate and give him the simple contract, against him.
Okay.
So that is why he briefly said that 2% is for the government.
Okay.
Why not 8% is for the people? So what the advice I would give him is that he should bring the matter out, and the right people will talk over it, and they will know what to say.
Okay.
So that is the thing, because of the future. Because all this money you are talking, many people are sitting on them.
Okay.
Those are the other speaker has said that some of the people will go, the money will get directed will go to private funds because of the agreement reached in certain areas during the campaign and other things.
Yes.
So what they should do is first of all bring the areas involved so that we as individuals we put mass and solve the issue.
Okay.
If you know last time they were one of the governors was talking about it, then they dragged him to Okija Shrine, where he had many things that happened during that Obasanjo regime. So even many people that went there to swim, I don't say there.
Okay.
So was them died there. So maybe those areas are like that. So he doesn't want to talk, but because of if he talk, many problems will go. What I will want you to do is first of all, press the government to know the area he wants to talk about.
Okay. So like, for example, now if he gets to talk about it openly, expose all the areas that you're talking about, that means he did not employ their services during the elections, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too, my brother. Yes, it is what it is. It is Street Report on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Let's hear from you right about now. Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah.
Yes, put off your radio. Nande, when you go to radio, you okay now? You need to my when your radio, you are going to send you. KBC.
I'm calling from Mumwe.
Okay, but Gavani Ro.
If I'm willing to suggest hello?
I can hear my brother.
This I think the best solution to it was government Anambra actually the best thing they're supposed to do is to arrest one of these people and jail them that person.
Okay.
But that's what I want to conclude. I want to much thing when such situation, you just chip in the advice.
Okay.
What government will do, because since they don't know about it, if really they don't know about it, let them jail 1 or 2 or 3 people. They use the army to arrest them and jail them. The other people will learn a lesson.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's my humble contribution.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank
you.
Yes.
Hello. All right.
Yes, it is Street Report on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. We need to solve this. Everybody's coming with their own contribution on how this must be sorted out. There must be other ways by which we will solve this issue of the Anambra State government having possession of just 2% of the resources of Anambra State. That is appalling. 07034459334 or 07045592210. What is your take on this? Yes, let's hear from you right about now. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Meta.
Yes, good evening.
Happy Christmas and prosperous New Year.
Same to you, same to you.
I'm Wanda Francisca. Onye Gideon.
Okay.
First, I can say Happy New Year, prosperous. Happy Christmas and prosperous New Year.
Thank you, my sister. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, my sister. Hello. Thank you. Hello. Yes, bye. Now we also need contributions. All contributions are again. I talk to all the issue at the end of the day. We are talking about it. Me personally, as a journalist, I've done a lot when it comes to this. Even when governors, we are not talking about it. I was investigating, going about, all of those places like the Kempo and all of that. I investigated all of this and then, brought the evidence forward. So how do we address the issue? Let's hear from you right about now. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, my sister. Hello? Oh, please call back 07034459334 or 07045592210. Asị n'obodo adịrọ mma bụ uru ndị nze. Kedu ife a ga-eme ndị nze a ka obodo dị mma? Let's hear from you right about now. Hello?
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Your name and location, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Your name and location. Oh, please call back 07034459334 or 07045592210. Let's hear from you. What do you have to say about all of this? How do we solve this issue? The governor of Anambra State is talking about a situation, the situation that the government is only in possession of 2% of the resources of Anambra State. What do you think of this? Let's hear from you now. Hello. Good evening. Your name and location, please. Please call back. Call back. We need to hear from you. We need to know what you have to say about this. Now, in seeking for the would I say that consonance, the people being in consonance with the government, seeking for that collaboration with the people, the government, the governor of Anambra State said that the year 2024 is critical and alike. So, how do we fix this issue? Let's hear from you right about now. Hello. Hello. Oh wow. Yeah, network is messing with all. Countdown to when we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Street Report. Okwano road taxation and it is not only in road taxation because beyond just road taxation, even other sectors. Government to generate a private individuals before called the Zenaka. And I'm an open government to generate here more. Government will do more when it comes to development. At the end of the day, 07034459334 or 07045592210. Yes, let's hear from you right about now. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello.
Hello, Martin.
Yes, good evening, my brother.
Good evening.
No.
Gọọmenti ma ihe niile a na-eme. So ọ bụrụ uche m onye na-ekwu gọọmenti ya gbaa mbọ niile ha nwere ike igwe site n'ime ndị ọdụ aka ihe ndị a dị n'aka arrest. Ọ bụrụ na eme ha arrest a kọmpliti ya then fụ na ihe ndị ọzọ ya eme ya akwụsị. And ọ bụrụ sọsọ ebe ahụ ị na-ekwu okwu abịa na ọka ebe a
Yes.
ha tiri na ha karịrị gọọmenti ego asịsị a nara a na-anụ ya ka ijedo ụzọ ịbịa na obodoro otu iburu ibu dute ebe anyị ya akụbodo ma ọ bụ ego ndị agboro keke ihe niile ahụ bụ problem nmasịsị na asọfa ụfọdụ megide ike bụ ha ga-awụọrọ ụwa ọ bụrụ because of separation a na-enye ya so ọ bụrụ na gọọmenti chọrọ kwana ha ma otu anyị etinye ya o nwere ndị karịa gọọmenti ọ dị ka mmadụ gbata ala kịta anagido ya ego ya eji develop the place na-akpọchie ha ncha niile then signal development levy ihe eji edevelop ka ma ọma na individual na-eri gọọmenti kwesịrị inwe strategy e kwesịrị inwe iwu na-aga ezi obodo ọbụla na-ele ata ilesikwa ya mmadụ wenye aka not onye ilesiri iju na ọya edevelop ebe taa ma na-egbu mmadụ n'ọrụ na-arụ ihe ogo ite na-adịrọ mma.
So, thank you. If a point to go out, even when it comes to land grabbing. So even here, the House of Assembly are supposed to play a role by enact laws that will enable our people, to know. Anyway, let's hear from you right about now. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello. Welcome, my brother. Take my number down. No. Yes. Lutelo Hanez Apage. Okay.
I'm reaching you from.
Please go on, sir.
If I'm not the fight the cartel and the syndicate.
Yeah.
They are mainly fair, they go fight in alone there.
Okay.
And the India phone man, they go their master, not somewhere. They're very, very powerful.
Okay.
How would you need Jidefa? All police, you give a farmer police. They go to local government, they found well access to every authority in the Bible. They pass a state. Fast on a party. They will follow my never to go on a phone with a party agent or business in a phone stakeholder. Na party DG. If work capacity with senior never DG, but na crime of an committee, na on a government rate of over. The last administration never fighting. Of that they know, and they are of those people. Now, what the backbone never party now not empowered. These of us are Obunaga election. Obunaga fighting their political opponent. There's back about this position, John Weber. So, only if the government in Asia, the family in difficulty to control them. So, you put your within 5 minutes, which you have. The only thing he was their return to every police post to more police station never, or we got return here. Or if one moment. So, they fight paper. The city can any government they got fight paper. Unless you want name the family root, name their involvement in a party. More that is the enemy of the state. Therefore, never position name a party. Any party platform or party may rule on the state. He make sure on a ban or on it. Only a man fighting, but as long as back I remember the stakeholder. They got on the Apple, not the Ekota. Mostly from other states. Anambra state, if I'm a level for not my If one back about why not want to see a so now you said in here, you put that in fire, you put it by water. You put that new giddy, put that no good one. I'm along with when you get in the letter one. There came up when you get it up on me. Higher your proof when you get more about it then. There's no good now.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank
you so much for joining us. Thank you. Yes, we are talking about it and we are getting to the spot where we'll begin to call it a day. But let's see if we could just take this call before we call location, please. We just have a minute.
Okay, Simon David, I call from Igbo, Hausa man.
Okay, please. What is your contribution in what we are discussing?
Okay, I guess I want to ask now, the Anambra government with other government, is there difference?
Anambra state government as a state now, you're like you are from a different state now. What state are you from?
Now from Adamawa.
Adamawa. So if you get to Adamawa now, you have your own governor in Adamawa now. You have your own government.
I know that one.
Okay.
But you don't even come see here. It's different, but you know, see road for here like for our side. I know I just see other things for the government, but you know the same for here like that place now. So they ask.
Okay, so now why would they talk about what will they talk for here? So will they fix all those things? And we have our own challenges as a people. You people have your own. Though maybe your government is well to do more than our own. But anyway, thank you so much for John. I say maybe your own government, that government of Adamawa, have more than we have over here, and that's why we are talking about our own, so that we organize our own and fix our own, just the way your own is. But thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. This is the spot where we'll be calling it a day on this particular edition of the Street Report on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Yes, we've talked about it, and this one is, a massive hard nut to crack, but we will crack it, at the end of the day. So, some individuals should talk about this, elaborate more on what they are talking about when they say they are only in charge of 2%. So, the government should also elaborate more so that we get to talk how we can, enable the government, how we will help the government to fix our society. And that said, this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Street Report. Street Report comes your way Fridays, 4:30 p.m. So keep a date and don't touch the dial of Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Once it's 6 o'clock this evening, immediately after Angelus, there will be news. Don't touch the dial of Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Till we meet again, I am Martin Ifan Shuku Ikizie. As our number the first, the one that I call Metal. Have a wonderful evening.
How best can we talk about this we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general?
Guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share, right?
Not address these challenges on Airborne and
like, subscribe, and share.
Will around us get as complicated as they can be. Street Report is here to make sense of it all. Street Report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't